said, if the network grows too large, could trust then become threatened by it?
In other words, the question of scaling this kind of system is that it cannot. I don't think it can grow like to all of Italy, just one circuit. The idea is to have multiple copies, which are, let's say, responsive to the local context, cultural, social, economic, etc. Because all of this is connected to identity, and the local, basically the face-to-face aspect is important. But as long as you respect that, then the point is that the B2B system can be much larger than a Let's. So it spans all of Sardinia, and Sardex was really built on the Vir model, and of course the Vir spans all of Switzerland. One of the people I interviewed is a bike shop owner, and he told me that if he sells a bicycle in euros, he expects the payment right then and there. But if he sells it to somebody that he doesn't know who's paying in Sardex, and they say, I forgot, my phone is out of battery, I can't do the transaction now, is it okay if I pay you tonight? And he's, sure, it's no problem. He said, it's weird, I automatically trust them. Okay. Yeah.
Also following what Paulo said about the problems of some members, some businesses accumulating too much money and don't have nothing to do with this money, or because their suppliers are paid in euros. So first question, what are these businesses? What kind of sector they are in? I mean, they are hairdressers. What are the richest, let's say, businesses who always get too much credit, and the poor ones? And if there's a mechanism of redistribution, or if you envisage this, to redistribute money from those who accumulate too much to others who are not so rich, let's say.
We've got 2 minutes left.
So in 2 minutes, we need to answer the hardest problem of all, right? So how do you ensure long-term stability when in the presence of things like free riding and bankruptcy, in addition to what you mentioned, which is the problem of some sectors are better suited. For example, if you're a restaurant owner, you can source your prime materials, your food locally, so you can pay in Sardex, you get paid in Sardex by your customers, and everything works well. If you're a tire wholesaler, as I said before, or you import, I don't know, the heating equipment, like boilers and things like that. Those are not built in Sardinia. You have to pay for those things in euros, and then if you sell them locally, you can only accept up to a certain point. So some of this is being addressed by starting to think about the intertrade possibilities between the different circuits in other parts of Italy. But this has just run into a regulatory issue. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the PSD2 directive, Payment Service Directive 2, for payment service providers. So this essentially limits the, let's say, the way in which you can actually perform these trades, and the organizational structure and the legal entity that can do this. So I cannot really say much more because the issue is being looked at. And I guess at a conceptual level, the idea is to try and find a way to interact with the euro economy such that, for example, for inter-circuit trades, those are likely to be incurring a 1% transaction fee in euros, some of which will be put away into a fund, a guarantee fund, to be used as, let's say, to cover the social cost of bankruptcy and similar problems. How to address the large positive balances, that's, as I said earlier, a more difficult problem in the sense that there is no short-term solution. Okay, you just have to somehow live with the fact that some of the sectors in a particular context will not work as well as others. Yeah.
Wonderful. So thank you very much. I think it was And our next speakers, excuse me, yes, please. Christophe Plas, Antonin Calderon, Fabien Cordeiro,